Okay, so when I add, come on, let's focus, please. When I add those, I get this, but I should factor out the 3x just in case I could simplify, but there's nothing I can simplify, is there? There's no common factors to cancel out. So x is not allowed to be what? 8. Right. Now number 6, I will be able to simplify. 4x squared minus 1 is a difference of squares. And when I factor that, the square root of 4x squared is 2x, and the square root of 1 is a 1, and then what do we do on a difference of squares? 1's plus, 1's minus, right? So now I've got common factors that I can cancel. So the answer to that one you should have gotten is 2x plus 1 for number 6. What's x not allowed to be? When I set that equal to 0, I add 1 and divide by 2. What's 1 divided by 2? Half, right? Okay? So, those are easy ones when we already have a common denominator, right? Emma, wake up. All right, what was the next one? 16 to 20? Even, right?
22, yeah.
Yeah, there they are. Okay? So we have to find common denominators for these. All right? The common denominator for 16 would be 12x, right? I see a 3, a 4, and an x, right? Got to write it down. The factors of 4 is 2 times 2. We could write 2 squared times 3 times x. It's still 12x. Okay? So once I rewrite them, let's see. It'll be 4 times 8, 32 over 12x. And 15 over 12x. Right? We got to multiply 3 by 4 to get 12x. So 8 times 4, 32. I multiply 4x by 3 to get 12x. So I go 5 times 3 to get the 15. So it's 47 over 12x. And then x cannot be 0. Right?
Would it not be 12 squared? 12x squared?
No. You do not change the denominator. Right? Once you figure out what the common denominator is, it stays the same. You don't have to write x twice. If it shows up, you got to write it down, right?
Multiplied 4x times 3x.
Yeah, but you don't. You just write down the factors. So 3 is a factor, 4 is a factor, and x is a factor. Right? Now, if one of those was an x squared, I'd have to write x squared. Remember the higher exponent? If exponents show up. Okay? Can I factor either of 18's denominators?
No.
No. So I just write them both down. Right? So it's just x minus 3 and x plus 1. Okay, so what did I multiply the original denominator by? X plus 1. So I have to multiply the original numerator by the same thing. What did I multiply the original denominator by here? X minus 3. So I have to multiply the original numerator by that same thing. Right? That's the procedure. Okay? Now, before I can add them, I have to multiply, I have to distribute. So I got a 9x plus 9. When I distribute the 9, and I get a 2x squared minus 6x. When I distribute the 2x. Now I can combine like terms. Remember, when I do the actual addition, my denominators don't change. I only add or subtract the numerators. Okay? So I have a 2x squared, nothing else. For like terms, I have a 9x minus 6x. And I have a 9. Okay? What's 2 times 9? 18. Are there factors of positive 18 that add up to positive 3? No. 6 times 3, but they both got to be positive, and those won't add up to 3, right? Now, if it was a negative 18, we could get a positive 3 in there, right? So 9 times 2, 6 times 3, 1 times 18, none of those will add up to positive 3. Okay, so we're done. What's the values x cannot be? 3 and negative 1, right? All right, so that was 16 and 18. Okay, 20, we have to factor this first. That's x plus 7 and x minus 2. So what's my common denominator? Yeah, it's that, right? What do we say? Whatever shows up,
You have to keep it on both sides.
you write it down, right? So an x plus 7 showed up and x minus 2 showed up. Right?
Right.
So that's my common denominator. So what do I have to do to this second denominator?
What's the next one?
Put the x minus 2 on it. So I got to do that to the numerator, right? So I don't have to do anything to the first one, but I have to FOIL these. So I get x squared minus 2x plus 3x minus 6. Okay? So when I subtract now, remember, that's subtraction. So if you have a minus a negative somewhere, that turns into what? Addition. So sometimes we forget that. All right? So this one, I'll just write it down here. All right, we got our x plus 7 and our x minus 2. Okay? So I got a 5x, I got 1x squared minus another x squared. What happens to them? They're gone. All right? I got nothing minus 1x, which is negative 1x, right? When I add those, I get a positive x, but when I go nothing minus 1x, it's a negative 1x. Okay? I have a negative 5 minus a negative 6, which means negative 5 plus 6, which is positive 1, right? So that's my answer. Okay? Is this numerator the same as either of these denominators? No. So I'm done. And x cannot equal negative 7 or 2.
Yeah. Real. Yeah.
What number was that? 20? Let me see if I did it right. Yep, that's right. I didn't make a mistake. Okay? 22, you'd have to factor that difference of squares. What does x squared minus 25 factor into?
Minus and plus or minus 5.
Right. Okay? So what shows up is a plus 5, a minus 5, and a plus 3, right? So that's my common denominator, all three of those. Okay? And then we have to rewrite them and add them and subtract them. So, all right? That answer was, I'll read it to you, is negative x cubed minus 3x squared minus x minus 51, that's the numerator, over that denominator, x plus 5, x minus 5, and x plus 3. X cannot be negative 5, positive 5, or negative 3. Okay, that's a little bit, it's not that tough, but it's a little more work because you got to multiply by two things. Yeah.
Could you go over 22?
Sure. So I have to multiply, I'll do what I have to do extra. This was the original first denominator. So what did I multiply by? X plus 3, right? This one was the x minus 5, so I need both of these. I have to multiply this one by. So I got to multiply x minus 1 times x plus 5 and x plus 3. So you got to FOIL those and then FOIL again, basically. And then the x plus 3 is here, so I got to multiply by the x plus 5 and the x minus 5 here. You guys see that? So this had the x plus 5 and the x minus 5, so I only had to multiply by 1 that was missing. This was only the x minus 5, so I had to multiply by both the x plus 5 and the x plus 3. And then this one had the x plus 3, I had to go by both the x plus 5 and the x minus 5, which was x squared minus 25, right? So, doing that work, x plus 3 times x plus 3 comes out to x squared plus 3x plus 3x, which is 6x plus 9. So that's the first numerator. This one, it doesn't matter what order you do it in. I'll do the purple ones first. You get x squared plus 3x plus 5x, which is 8x. All right, I know I'm just making a mess here, but you guys can follow, right? What's 5 times 3? 15. So now I'm going to go x times x squared, which is x cubed. Oh, let's x cubed. And that minus sign is going to do what to that x cubed? You guys with me? Come on.
No.
This x, I'm going to multiply this x times all 3 and this negative 1 times all 3, all right? X times x squared is x cubed. What's that minus sign do to that x cubed? Makes it negative x cubed, right? So I'm just going to do that as well as I go.
Man, that's low. Can't figure this out, man.
Yeah, you can. What's x times 8x squared? I'm sorry, 8x. X times 8x. 8x squared. What's that negative do to the 8x squared?
Make it minus.
Makes it minus
Ooh, genius.
8x squared.
Yeah. Then you did genius mode.
What's x times 15? 15x. What's that minus do to it? Makes it negative 15x. All right, now I'm going to go negative 1 times x squared. What's negative 1 times x squared? Negative x squared. But what's minus a negative x squared?
What does he start with?
Plus. What's negative 1 times 8x?
Negative 8.
Negative 8x. What's minus a negative 8x?
And adding
Adding 8x.
Yep.
What's negative 1 times 15?
Negative 15.
Negative 15. What's minus a negative 15?
You want? Yeah.
Plus 15. Okay? So this was the first numerator.
From what? Where?
Multiplying x plus 3 times x plus 3.
True. Okay.
This, what I just finished, was the middle numerator. Multiplying all 3 of those and then subtracting them, changing the sign. Okay? Now I have to, we know what this is already. It's the x squared minus 25, right? So what's 3 times x squared?
What?
3x squared. What's 3 times negative 25?
Negative 75.
All right? So that's my numerator. The green box, the red box, and those blue numbers. I just combine like terms now and put everything over my denominator, which is
The blue one?
that blue. X plus 5, x minus 5, and x plus 3. Okay? All right, so combining like terms. I have the 1 x cubed, which was negative. I got 1x squared minus 8 is a negative 7, plus 1 is a negative 6, plus 3 is a negative 3. Okay, quiet please. 6x minus 15 is negative 9x, plus 8 is a negative 1x.
True.
And then 9 plus 15 is Let's do this first. What's 15 minus 75? Negative 60, right? Plus 9 would be negative 51.
Yeah.
I think that's what I said. Thanks. All right, let me see if I did it right. Negative x cubed minus 3x squared minus x minus 51. That's correct. So it's a lot of algebra, just,
Is it me?
yeah, shoot.
I meant just for absence.
Oh.
Hey, Jay.
I
One that big? Probably
I
not.
excused
Oh,
it.
excuse that.
There's like,
Okay.
his mom didn't write this.
No.
All right, so that just had a lot of foiling and combining like terms. It wasn't hard, it just took some time. You guys should be able to handle that.
Homework.
Homework.
We're
All right.
over the homework.
So again, because I took my time.
Good.
I didn't even say anything.
It's just because
That was
you're
bad.
I didn't say it.
It was all Kale.
I
Get through. I didn't even say
Drop
it.
your attitude.
Why don't you guys all be quiet so we can focus a little bit? Right? There are some people that are trying to figure this out. All right? All right. What do we end up doing with 36, 38, and 40 last week?
We did a new method on it.
Yeah, what did we choose to get rid of these fractions?
You simplify top and
Common denominator, right?
or you could do.
So at 36, what's the common denominator between everything?
There we go.
Look at everything in the problem.
This is just
5 and
1.
1 and x, right? So what's 5 times 1 times x?
5x.
5x. So multiply everything by 5x.
Dude, I did it by 36. I don't know.
Just looking at the denominators. If it doesn't have a denominator, what is it?
1.
1, right? Do we need to worry about that? No. So you're just basically looking at the 5 and the x. Okay? So what's 5x times 15?
Here we go.
75x, right?
Yeah.
What's 5x times negative 2 over x?
10x.
Nope. Just 10.
Oh, yeah.
Because the x's cancel, right?
Yeah, we do.
It's got negative because it's negative 2, right? Minus. What happens to the 5s?
They also
They cancel. So what's x times x?
square.
X squared.
Why wouldn't it be x?
What's 5x times, the x's don't cancel because this is the problem. 5x over 1 times x over 5. Are they top and bottom, the x's? You can't cancel them if they're in the same
I thought it'd be 5x.
same spot, right?
Oh, yeah, okay.
They got to be top and bottom to cancel. So the 5's cancel. Okay? You guys see that?
Yeah. So they only cancel on the bottom, yeah.
All right. What's 5x times 4?
Yeah.
20x. Okay. So there's our answer, but we should see if we can simplify it. So Caitlin, factor the top. Yeah, 5's the GCF, right?
Yeah.
So we get 15x minus 2. Factor the bottom. Cole. X is the GCF, right? We get x plus 20. Is there anything that's the same back up top and bottom that we can cancel?
No.
No. All right, so we're done. Okay. What is x not allowed to be? Look at the original. What's x not allowed to be? 0. Okay. Just look at the original problem. The only spot where we get a 0 is if we make x 0, right? In the bottom. Okay. Thirty-eight's answer. It's in the back. I gotta find it.
I honestly would want to go for next.
You want to go over 'em?
I mean,
Okay.
if it's you, man, that's it.
We can do that. Then I just won't worry about looking it up. All right, looking at all of those denominators, an x minus 2, an x plus 1, and an x. Can I factor any of those? No. So I gotta write them all down as the common factor, right? So I have to multiply everything by the x minus 2, the x plus 1, and the x, right? So when I multiply those three times this fraction, what happens to the x minus 2's? They cancel, all right? So what's x times x plus 1?
So,
No, it's not.
I was just joking.
It's x squared plus x, right? I got to multiply that by 16,
16x.
right? So it's 16x squared plus 16x. That's the top. That's the top, that's all. That's pretty easy. Okay? For this first fraction, what happens with the x plus 1s? They cancel. So I have an x and an x minus 2, right? Which is what? X squared minus 2x, right? What did I say? X minus 2 and an x, right? I'm just trying to get it written right. Okay, which is x squared minus 2x, right? And I got to multiply that by 4, right? So that's 4x squared minus 8x, right? Okay. The 6 over x, the x's go away, so I got to go 6 times x minus 2 and x plus 1, right? I'm going to FOIL that first. X squared minus 2x, oh, I'm sorry, plus 1x minus 2x for outside inside, which is negative 1x. And negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. And multiply that by 6. And that's addition, so I can just put plus 6x squared minus 6x minus 12. I just distributed the 6 by those three. Okay? So, combining like terms, now, on this fraction, let's just factor that for now. 16x can come out, and we get x plus 1, right? And then let's look at the bottom. What's 4x squared and 6x squared? 10x squared. What's negative 8 and a negative 6? Negative 14. And then minus 12. That was all that was left, right?
Just for the numerator.
No, the numerator, we got rid of the fractions. When we multiply everything by the common denominator, the fraction in the top goes away, the fraction in the bottom goes away. So we just have those two things now. Now we have to try to simplify that. So what goes into all three of those terms? A 2. So let's just rewrite this. We already factored in. We can pull a 2 out, and then we have 5x squared minus 7x minus 6. What's 5 times negative 6? Negative 30. Are there factors of negative 30 that will give us negative 7? There is, isn't there? Negative 10 and a positive 3, right? All right, so this is getting longer yet. All right, so the negative 30 are these two factors, right? You with me?
Yeah.
And when I add those, we get the negative 7, right? Okay, here's what we did on those. We rewrote it as 5x squared, or that we're going to do, minus 10x plus 3x minus 6. And then we grouped it, remember?
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've done one like this. Okay? So the 5x would come out of that group, and the 3 would come out of this group, right? And what's this? X minus 2 for both. Is there going to be an x minus 2 in the top that I can cancel? No. All right, is there a 5x plus 3 in the top that I can cancel? No. What can I cancel?
People on Twitter. People that say someone else agrees with.
Look at the factors. There's two factors up there that have a common number in
X
them.
plus one, X plus one.
No.
X plus 16x and 16x.
No.
Except for both wrong, so it's just. I was just dealing.
Caleb was there.
Look at the bottom, look at the top. What number goes into those numbers that are factors? 2, yeah.
2.
2 goes into 2 once, and 2 goes into 16 8 times. So the final answer is 8x
All that. I didn't
And-
get the right answer.
5x squared minus 7x minus 6. Okay? Looking at the original problem, what's x not allowed to be here? 2, negative 1, or 0, right? 2, negative 1, or 0. Okay? So, just wanted to review with you this stuff. And I have a little worksheet for you to do more practice.
I'm okay with it.
So this is your homework. This
One
extra practice worksheet.
master